Since forever, I've heard you talk about conflict and conflict navigation and the link that you have within our own history with it as being seafarers and navigators and trying to navigate the framework of coming ashore and dealing with different types of conflict. And I always felt under-equipped. So when I heard about the development of conflict first aid, I really felt that would be something that would help me equip myself with conflict, not only in my own life, but also with those around me. A conflict first aid is a structured conversation to address an issue, really, I think at the very essence. And it's not something that you haven't thought about before. It might be something that you haven't done. Within our lives, we have that desire. If you see someone who's hurting, you want to help. With conflict, it is a type of pain. And if you see someone in conflict, you want to help. But not knowing the tools, not having that basic toolkit can be really limiting. So you want to help, you have then a conflict in yourself. I want to help, but I don't know what to do. So conflict first aid gives you that. It really is first aid. Those initial steps, you're not going to solve the problem, but you might be able to help. Conflict first aid is something that we all should have, just like we all need to have medical first aid. We need to know that if you have a wound that's bleeding, you put pressure on it. If there's something sticking out, you leave it in. You need to have that basic. So conflict first aid, what I know now, it's not that much different from what I thought I would do, but actually I now have the confidence to be able to step in. I can't go and solve it. So if there's a wound there, I can't stitch it up for them. So conflict first aid is not there to fix the problem, it's just there to help acknowledge that there is an issue and what can I provide in this moment, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this instant.
Completely. It was sort of a walk into the office, by the way, you're coming with us. You threw us right in. Let's start practicing. I think the one lesson I learned was how not to do conflict first aid, because we want to fix and understanding that we don't have to always fix, but we're still providing that support that is ingrained in us, a skill that as a social worker we're supposed to have, but it's nice to have a real understanding of what conflict first aid would do. Instead of having to worry about whether I'm supposed to fix it for somebody, I just have to be the person I am and provide them with a space. And getting that training was absolutely amazing. And I've used it. I don't work so hard. That was my big lesson. And actually it's followed me through my last year of school for my bachelor's, and it's going to follow me through my master's. That lesson of, don't work so hard to fix somebody. That first aid is the support. First aid, as you would do for anybody, mental health, psychological, physical, any first aid is there to support. And that I'm there to support. I'm not there to fix. I'm not there to work really hard. I'm there to support. Learning to hold people able was probably the hardest thing, because you want to jump in. But it was also probably the most satisfying thing when you learn to hold somebody able, and then all of a sudden you see that light bulb. And you're like, I did that. I helped them, but they came up with it. And it was all I had to do was allow them the dignity of finding it out on their own. I didn't have to work for it, and that was holding them able. But it was definitely something that was harder to learn than I would have thought. It sounds easy, just be beside somebody, but it's definitely a skill. And it's a skill that people should have. And if you have conflict first aid, you can give them 5 minutes, and it's not going to cause you any stress, because you're not going to be working. You're going to be providing them that space that they need. It's needed. It is so needed, because you meet people. They don't have to know you. They don't have to be your best friend. You meet them on the street. Still somebody who wants to help. You're a helper bee, but now you have the skills to help, and still walk away saying, I did something, I'm happy with it, but I didn't take it on.